evening. Still probably 2 to 3 minutes before we get started today. So enough time to kind of come onto your mat, grab anything you may want or need today, water or some music, a block. I won't be calling any poses with props necessarily, but that doesn't mean you can't incorporate them at your leisure. So usually you don't practice in socks, but my tootsies are a little cold, so I'm at least going to get started with mine on today. So make sure you're comfy and adjust as needed throughout. Probably another minute and a half. If you're already set up, maybe you just settle on your mat somewhere that's comfy for you, taking a few minutes to breathe and come into the space before our practice as you would maybe at the studio. Check on something real quick. All right. And we are at about that time. So we're going to go ahead and start finding our way to our starting spot today. And that'll be child's pose. You can put toes together or near one another. Same for the knees. Or if you want to start with the toes near one another and the knees extra wide, feel free. Just a nice comfy spot that you can settle into. And if child's pose doesn't speak to you, maybe just start in a comfortable seated spot. So settle the head down. Maybe it rests on the mat. Maybe you make a little pillow with the hands or fists. Let's keep the arms nice and soft to start. A little bend at the elbows. So where the shoulders can settle. Let the body grow a little heavier. The hips sinking toward the heels. The belly resting on the thighs. Feel the support of the mat. Notice the texture of it, the feel of it against the skin. Coming into the moment, being present here as you gently let the day melt away. Maybe you even close the eyes here, blocking out distractions. As you take roughly the next hour for yourself, moving through the asana, building your yoga practice. And as you rest here, notice the breath. In child's pose, with the weight of the body on the legs, you really can feel the ribs and the back expand with the inhales and settle with the exhales. Keep the awareness on the breath. Deepen the inhales and the exhales. Breathe in and out through the nose. As you breathe, follow the breath through the body, checking in, seeing how you're feeling today. Take that little inventory so that you can honor your body as you move through the practice. As we take a few more centering breaths here, if you'd like to set an intention for class, something positive that's speaking to you today, I welcome you to do so. Maybe it's a simple word like courage, or maybe it's a longer phrase like my heart is open to what the universe holds. Whatever it is, sit with that for a moment. We'll start to create a little space between the head and the hands, sending the hands out, palms into the mat, pressing down as you start to activate the arms and the shoulders a little bit. Keep the hips settled to the heels, long line, upside body. And if you're seated, you could just draw the fingers toward the sky. Keep the breath steady. Walk the hands over to the right. Keep the belly resting. The breath creating space between the ribs. Gently walk the hands back through center and journey over to the opposite side. Only traveling as far as your body wants today. Shoulders are soft. Walk the hands back to center. Inhale up to tabletop. Set hips over knees, shoulders over wrists, long line through the spine. Gazing down at the mat. Take a moment here, feel your foundation. Notice if the heart is collapsing. Gently lift it if it is. And we'll do little wrist stretches here. Flip the right hand back toward the body. The back of the hand resting on the mat. Fingers facing the knee. You don't have to put too much weight into this hand, and you can keep a generous bend at the elbow if you like. One more breath here. Gently flip that hand back over, settle the palm down. Neutral spot as we flip the left hand. Really check in with this wrist and forearm. Each side's going to be a little different. Our writing hand may need something that our other one does not. One more breath here. Gently flip it over. We'll keep the spine nice and long as we start to wave the hips a little left to right. Incorporating a little movement. You can start to take that wave and create a little arch through the side body as you take the head from side to side as well. And then on your next journey to the right, we'll hold the hips there. Take the gaze over the right shoulder. Nice little C shape. And then transition to the opposite side. Hips and gaze go to the left. Nice stretch through the right ribs. Back to center for our cat-cows. Inhale as you drop the belly and lift the gaze. Exhale as you round, arch the back. Inhale, lower, open the heart. Exhale, round, press the earth away. And continue these cat-cows at your own breath pace for a few rounds. You can hold wherever the body needs. Stay tuned into the breath. One more full round before we meet at our neutral spine. Gently walk the hands forward as you lower to the belly. Tops of the feet go into the mat. Little space between the feet. Draw the hands under the shoulders, elbows tucked in tight to the body as we prep for the 3 stages of Cobra. On an inhale, lift chin and collarbone, a nice baby cobra. Keep pressing the pelvis and the feet into the mat, not putting too much weight into our hands here. On an exhale, release as you take a breath on the mat. We'll put a little more weight into the hands as we inhale up, chin, collarbone, and maybe a rib or 2. Keep drawing the shoulder blades away from the ears. Keep the spine nice and long here. On an exhale, lower down. Take a breath, relax the body. And you can stay at either of those first 2 stages, or if the back is feeling up to it, we'll walk the hands down beside the chest a bit more. Really spread the fingers, creating a solid base as you inhale up, finding your cobra. That may mean arms straight. It may mean baby cobra today. Listen to your body. Keep the breath steady. On an exhale, gently lower. Settle the chin on the mat as you take the hands down alongside body, palms into the mat. Pinkies touching thighs as we prep for half locust. These are single leg lifts. We'll keep the chin in the mat. Press into the hands as you inhale up the right toes. The lift may be an inch, it may be a foot. Feel the strength of your body. And with control, lower the right toes down. When right toes touch, we'll inhale up the left. A different experience on a different side. Keep that connection to your foundation. Nice and controlled. Lower the left toes down. Inhale up the right. You can point the toes here if you like. I like to go somewhere in between a point and a flex. Lower the right leg down. Inhale up the left. Press into the hands. Chin rests on the mat. Nice and controlled. Lower the left toes down. Take a breath, resting both feet. You could rock the hips a little side to side here if you like. We'll bring the arms forward, setting the hands out in front of us. Nice space between them as we prepare for a full lift. Take a breath. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, feet and hands lift. Kind of like you're Superman flying through the air. Feeling strength in the back body as you gaze forward. And then gently lower it down. Take a breath. Hands under shoulders as we press back, hips to heels, child's pose. A nice counter posture for that back work we just did. In our practice, when we go forward, we'll go backwards. If we go left, we'll go right. Trying to nourish the body holistically. On an inhale, rise back to tabletop. Find your nice neutral start. Take the hands forward, a handprint. Curl the toes. Take a pause here as you check in with the feet, the calves, the ankles. Focusing on your foundation. And then peeling the hips up and back. Down dog. Explore your down dog. Pedaling out the feet. You're lifting the toes. Seeing how your body feels in this shape today. Gently press the heart back, finding a nice long spine. Tailbone shining up. Settle in. On an inhale, walk the feet forward. Let the hands hang heavy as you come into forward fold. Gravity helping you find length in the spine. You can let the hands reach and rest on the earth, or you could grab opposite elbows. Maybe inviting in a little sway left and right. Keep the knees soft here, not locking them out. If you're swaying, start to slow it down. Coming to stillness at center as we shake the head a little yes and no to loosen the neck. If you're holding elbows, release the hands and gently roll it up. Rising to our Tadasana, our nice mountain pose. Stacking head over heart. Arms by our side, palms facing forward. Feeling grounded as we inhale the arms up. Reach it tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice big inhale as we reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down, forward fold. Take a breath. And another. Begin to engage the core as you come to half lift, long line through the spine, hands to shins or thighs. Gently draw the navel up toward the spine. On an exhale, release down. Gently roll it back up. Come to Tadasana. Take a breath. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift. Exhale, release. Roll it up. Take a breath. Inhale the arms. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Gently roll it up. Coming back to our standing posture. We'll put the right foot forward and we'll drop the left foot back, planting it at about a 90-degree angle. Finding a generous bend in that right knee. Stack that knee over the ankle or a little bit behind it. And you either want to line up the heels or create a little space, or you could go heel to the arch of the back foot. So we're setting up for our warrior two. You should feel a nice deep stretch down through the left thigh, inner thigh, in the hip. Keep the right knee gently open. Has a tendency to want to fall in here. Draw it back in line with the toes. Take the gaze forward as you inhale the arms up. If arms straight out doesn't speak to you today, or if your shoulders feeling a little pinchy, you can go hands to heart center as well here. Keep the arms soft. Rooted into both feet. We'll lower the right forearm to the right thigh as we lift the left arm up and over. Long line all the way from the heel up to the fingertips. Gazing at the side wall. Keep the hips nice and low here. Engage the core as you rise back to warrior two. Take a breath. Drop the back hand, rotate the front palm, lift up and back. You can straighten the front leg if you like here, yogi's choice. Feel a nice stretch through the front right side of the body. Rotate back to warrior two. Check your foundation. Lower the forearm, lift the left hand to the sky. You can rest on the forearm here, or you could challenge your core a bit, playing with lifting it, or even letting the arm float inside of the right leg. Keeping the heart nice and open, the hips low, strong legs. Inhale back to warrior two. Take a breath. Exalted warrior, lift up and back. And maybe you try a different option this time, either straightening or keeping that leg bent. Rotate back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Heel toe that back foot in just a little bit. We want about one leg length of distance between the legs. Take the arms back out. Start to draw the left hip back. Lean forward. flip the palms and windmill it over. Right hand can rest on the right shin or the thigh. Just don't press too hard on that leg. Left fingers reach to the sky. Gaze can go up at the hand. It could stay at the side wall or it could journey down to the mat. That reminder to connect with our foundation. Just keep the heart nice and open wherever you land. Inhale it back up. Lower the arms. Turn the right toes. So we're in a nice wide angle stance, and if you need to adjust a little bit here, feel free. Toes are mostly forward. We'll start with hands at our hips. Reach the crown of the head nice and tall. Lead with the heart as you hinge it forward. And when you can't keep that flat back anymore, gently release down, coming to a wide angle forward fold. Hands can rest on the mat. You could grab ankles or toes. We'll take a few rounds of breath here. Let the spine hang long. Begin to engage the core as you come to half lift. And then draw all the way up. Come to standing. Take a breath. Let the blood flow return. We'll turn the right toes forward once more. Reset about one leg length distance apart. Arms come shoulder height. Lean forward as you draw the hip back. Rotate the hands. Windmill over. And you can do the exact pose you did before, or if you'd like to challenge your core a bit, instead of resting the right hand on the leg, maybe you float it inside. And a great step between these two spots is if you have a block, resting the hand there. Rotate through the ribs. Nice open heart. We'll come back up. Lower the hands, turn the toes, gently heel toe the feet together. Safely coming out of that pose as we prepare to do that same little series on the opposite side. So left foot will plant forward, right foot will go back. Find your alignment. This side may need something a little different. Press into the outer blade of the right foot. Generous bend in the left knee. Take a moment here, building your foundation. Firmly rooted, strong legs. Take a breath. Inhale the arms. And again, you have a lot of options here. You can keep them nice and soft. Could do one. Hands at heart center. When you're ready, lower the left forearm. Right arm reaches up and over that long line. Stay steady in your foundation. Notice if the hips have lifted up a little bit here, and if they have, just gently lower them back down. Strong support through that left leg. We'll inhale it up. Warrior two. Lower the back hand, flip the front palm, lift up and back, exalted warrior. Breath is steady. Left arm is relaxed. Doesn't need to be super straight. You can give a little bend at the wrist and the elbow. Come back to our warrior two. Lower the forearm, reach the right arm up. And as you come into the shape, maybe you play with it a little bit, that lift, or that full open. Breathing through the shape. Listen to the body. Inhale it up. Warrior Two. Lower the back hand, flip the front palm, lift up and back. A lovely exalted warrior. And just as you did on the other side, you could straighten or keep the knee bent. Rotate back to Warrior Two. Lower the arms, straighten the leg, turn the left toes. I'm going to spin around just to match you guys. So we're back in our wide angle stance. Toes are mostly forward. Hands to hips. Lead with the heart. Pretty sure I skipped a step. We'll go back to it. Sorry about that. Release the hands down. Our nice wide angle forward fold. Notice where the weight is sitting in the feet. And if you're all the way back on the heels, gently shift the hips forward, letting the weight sit in the front half of each foot. Engage the core as you lift up, coming all the way to standing. We'll take a step back as we turn the left toes forward. Heel toe the back foot in a bit if needed. We want about one leg length distance. See if you can line up heel to heel. Take the arms out. Draw the right hip back. Reach the left fingers forward. Rotate the palms and windmill over. Left leg stays straight here. Should feel a nice little stretch along the back of it. Nice stretch through the hip. And if having the right arm reaching up isn't speaking to you, you could bring hand to hip here. One more breath. Inhale it up. We'll release the arms as we take a breath. Preparing for our second part. Inhale the arms back up. Reset. Draw the hip back. Reach the hands forward. Windmill it over. Our second time in the shape. So feel free to play with that modification. Floating the left hand inside. Again, totally optional. You could keep it resting somewhere. Breath is steady. Heart is open. Inhale it up. Release the hands, turn the toes, we'll heel toe the feet together to safely come out of that shape, meeting at the front of the mat for a little vinyasa to help us journey down. Find your Tadasana. Stack the spine. Inhale the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it back, find your high plank. You can lower to the knees here if you like. Elbows tight to the body as you come to the belly. Inhale up to your cobra. Exhale as you release, curl the toes, press the hips up and back, down dog. Taking a few breaths here. The hamstrings are super tight. That generous bend at the knees might help. Heels reaching toward the earth, though they may not touch it. We'll start to lower the knees, uncurl the toes, hips to heels. Child's pose. Take a breath as you settle the arms. Gently start to walk the hands toward the knees as you lift up. Set the knees near one another. Lift up a little bit as you curl the toes, and then gently sit back. A nice little stretch for the feet and the ankles and the toes. If this does not speak to you, you can just lower the feet down, take a breath, chill out. We won't be here long. Gently lift up. Uncurl the toes, lower down. We'll swing the legs out to a side as we take them forward. Both legs reaching long in front of us. A little space between the feet. Gazing forward as we lengthen the spine. Inhale the arms up. Exhale as you fold, reaching. Maybe you grab feet or ankles or the mat. Coming into your Paschimottanasana, your nice seated forward fold. Lead with the heart here. A nice reminder to keep lengthen the spine and protect our low back. If the legs are feeling super tight, a little bend at the knees might be a nice gift. Inhale as you lift up. Draw the right leg in. Plant it inside of the left leg. We'll take the left hand around behind us. Bring the right elbow inside of the right knee as we gently open to the left. So a little different than our usual twist. Keep the spine nice and long. You don't have to keep that hand up. You can lower it down a little bit here if you like. And try not to press with the shoulders. Try and turn from the center. On an exhale, unwind. Take a breath at center. Moving to our more traditional twist. Right hand goes behind us. Left elbow to the outside of right knee. Or you can hug the bent leg. Turn our gaze to the side. Feel the belly press into the thigh. Take the gaze as far behind you as you wish. And then on an exhale, we'll unwind back to center. Slide the right leg away as we pull the left heel in. That foot is planted on the mat inside of the right leg. Sit up nice and tall. Right hand comes behind us. Left elbow to the inside of the left knee. Find that twist. Gazing to the right. Keep the spine nice and long. Keeping the right hand a little closer to the body can help you find that lift and length. Encouraging the body to align. On an exhale, come back to center. Take a breath. Left hand comes around behind. Right hand either hugs or elbow to the outside of the knee. Twisting the opposite way. Notice the space created with each exhale between the belly and the thigh. Use that to gently deepen your twist, even if it's just in your mind. Allow the eyes to journey farther, looking behind you. And on an exhale, unwind to center. We'll draw the right foot in, planting both feet on the mat. Sit it up nice and tall. We'll take peace fingers behind the knees. Lean back to about 45. Keep the core engaged here as you come up onto the toes. And then gently lift the legs. Maybe shins go parallel to the mat. Maybe you can straighten the legs. Maybe you're somewhere in between. Challenging our core with our boat pose. Keep the spine nice and long. Maybe you reach the hands out. You can dock your boat anytime you need to, settling the toes to the mat. We'll see if we can stay here for 2 more breaths. Gently lower the feet. We'll bring the hands behind us, a little support as we let the legs windshield wiper side to side, hips rotating with them, loosening the legs. Coming to stillness. We'll plant the feet back on the mat, heel toe the feet together, and then let the knees fall open, coming into our supine bound angle, making any little adjustments you need. The heels can be in as close to the body or as far away as you need. Sit up nice and tall, and maybe you stay right here. You could wiggle the legs a little bit or just let gravity draw them down. If you'd like to deepen that stretch, lengthen the spine, lead with the heart, gently hinge it forward. Maybe the elbows press down on the legs, deepening that stretch. You can hold the ankles or the feet or the toes. Breathe into the hips. Lowering the gaze, maybe you bow the head for a moment. On an inhale, we'll lift up. Help the knees together as we gently journey down onto our back. Set the spine nice and long. Shoulders and head rest on the mat. Draw the navel down, settling the low back as you walk the heels in a little closer. Feet set about hip-width distance apart. Arms are down at our side, palms into the mat, thumbs touching hips. Prep for bridge pose. When you're ready, gently peel the hips up as you come onto the shoulder shelf. Maybe you walk the shoulder blades a little closer together. A gentle tuck of the chin. Check in with the neck. If you feel any pinching there or too much weight, gently lower down a little bit. We really want the support to be through our shoulders here. Keep the knees lined up with the hips as best you can. And then with control, gently lower down, settling the spine on the mat. Slide the left heel away as you draw the right knee into the chest, the first half of our half wind relieving pose. Great posture for our digestion. A great stretch through the hips. We'll draw little circles with the right foot, loosening the right ankle. And then reverse direction. Keep the head and the shoulders resting on the mat. Find stillness with the right foot. Give that leg a little squeeze. And then send the heel high. A nice little extension of the leg. Bend at the knee as you bring the sole of the foot to the mat. Slide the left heel in. Reset for bridge pose. Both feet planted down. Heels in toward hips. Palms pressing into the mat as we draw the hips up. Feel that nice lift. With control, lower it down. Slide the right heel away. Hold the left knee in, the other half of our half wind relieving pose. As you draw the left knee in, notice if you're really struggling through the arms. And if you are, relax them a little bit. You want to find that nice balance between effort and ease. There's no one place to draw the knee towards. It could be really far away from the body. Find what works for you today. Focus on the hips. We'll draw those little circles with the left ankle. Embracing the creaks and cracks as they come, getting in a wiggle of the toes as we reverse direction. Find stillness with the foot, give the knee a little squeeze and send that heel up. The leg doesn't have to be perfectly straight. We'll find a bend at the knee as we bring the foot down. Slide the right heel in. We'll keep the right foot planted as we cross the left ankle over right thigh, coming to a figure 4. And you could stay right here, maybe gently pressing on the left knee. Or if you'd like to head to supine pigeon, we'll weave the left hand through that space between the legs as we grab behind the right thigh or in front of the right shin, and gently draw the legs in. Keep the spine resting on the mat, nice and long here. Sometimes the tendency is to want to curl up. You should feel a deep stretch through the left hip. We usually hold our pigeons for a little longer than our other shapes. So find a spot you can settle in. Finding ease in the feet, a little heaviness in the legs. Focus on the hip. Keep the breath steady. Use the exhales to help you find a little release. Seeking to create a little more space. Feel that stretch, that connection from the hip into the leg, into the body. We'll take 2 more breaths here. the right leg, a little squeeze. And then release that foot back to the mat. And gently unwind the left leg. Let both feet rest on the mat. Maybe the knees rest against one another. Feel the sensations that you've created through the body, the difference between our two sides right now. We'll plant the left foot down, cross right ankle over left thigh. Take a moment here, check in to see if this is where the body wants to be today. And if it'd like to dive deeper, we'll weave the right hand through the legs as we draw the left leg in a little closer. Gently coming into the shape. Take your time. Feel out the pose. Connect with the right hip. Keep the head and the shoulders resting on the mat. And as we hold our pigeon, if you find that the mind starts to wander away from the mat, inviting back in the events of the day and the checklist of the holiday season, maybe you focus back in on that intention that you set at the start of class. Gently repeating it to yourself, feeling it in your heart. Draw awareness to the hip. And anytime the mind starts to wander, just recall that intention, giving the mind something else to focus on, something to draw it back here to the practice. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Give the left leg a little squeeze. Gently release. Settle the left foot, unwind to the right. Take a moment to pause. Feel the energy of the body. Gently draw both knees into the chest. Nice full body hug. You can rest here in stillness, or you could rock a little side to side if you're seeking some movement. That also might feel nice on the low back, a little massage. If you're rocking, start to slow it down. Come back to stillness at center. We'll give the knees a little squeeze and then send the heels high. Soles of the feet shining up. Hands can rest on the thighs or rest on the mat. Coming into this legs up the wall pose, a nice simple inversion. See if you can keep the low back settled on the mat here. Maybe that gentle tuck of the chin, lengthening the spine. With control, start to lower the legs down. Letting them reach long on the mat. We'll inhale the arms overhead, full body stretch. Feel free to wiggle a little side to side if you like. And then when you're ready, inhale to reach. Exhale as you create space. Letting the arms come to rest alongside body. Creating a little distance between the feet as the heels rest on the mat. Coming into our Shavasana, our final resting posture of our class. An opportunity to simply enjoy being. To invite stillness into our hectic lives for a few moments. Knowing that we are right where we need to be, perfect as we are, ever evolving. Allow the body to rest. Relax the muscles of the feet and the legs. Settle the hips. Loosen the glutes. Invite stillness into the low body. Gently release the low back as you allow the belly to rise and fall to your natural rhythm. The chest sinking a bit more as the back rests on the mat. Feel that connection to solid earth. Hands are soft as the arms relax. Let the shoulders gently melt down. Release any tension that you're holding in the neck or the jaw. Soften the face as you unfurrow the brow and close the eyes. Turn your attention fully inward, knowing that the world will continue to move around us. Give yourself the gift of these few moments, restful and at peace. Gently quiet the mind. Imagine that the thoughts are leaves on a river, gently floating by. Allow them to continue on as you sit peacefully beside the river. No need to hold on to any one thing. Journeying deeper into stillness. We'll take the next few moments in silence for ourselves. I'll hold the space and let you know when it's time to come up. start to invite back in gentle movements. Maybe that's a wiggle of the toes or the fingers. Invite back in that energy, sending it out into the limbs. Grow the movements a little larger. Gently reawakening the body. And when you're ready, if you like, you can draw both knees into the chest. That nice full body hug, and maybe you stay right there. Maybe you'd like to rotate onto a favorite side, stacking the hips, making a little pillow with the low arm. Wherever you're at, take this moment to thank the body for all that it has done for you today and all that it does for you every day. We'll start to gently lift back up, offer the body support as you start to flutter the eyes and let the light back in. Find that comfortable seated spot. Draw hands together at heart center, sealing in our practice. Take a moment. Feel the breath. Feel your energy. I encourage you to take kind thoughts, kind words, and kind intentions with you from now until we meet again. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for our practice today. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's any postures you'd like to incorporate into a future practice, just leave me a note below and I'll work to get it into an upcoming sequence. I hope you have a fantastic week and I hope to see you back on the mat next Monday. Bye.